Some friendships feel as if they were written in the stars, unlikely at first glance, yet profoundly meaningful. Such was the bond between Sir John, the British music legend, and Diana, Princess of Wales. Their relationship was warm, respectful, and at times tempestuous, punctuated by laughter, misunderstandings, emotional depth, and mutual admiration. While Diana seldom spoke of their friendship publicly, John never hesitated to praise her, whether in private letters, interviews, on-stage tributes, or most famously, through his music. In recent years, he has shared more intimate recollections of Diana, revealing facets of her character that the world rarely saw. These memories illuminate the twists and turns of their friendship, how it began, the challenges it endured, and the lasting mark it left on his life. Their first meeting took place in 1981 at a birthday celebration for Prince at Windsor Castle. Diana had not yet married Prince Charles and was already an international superstar. They met casually in the throng of guests, but it did not take long for them to discover a genuine rapport. At the party, they famously danced a lively Charleston together for 20 continuous minutes, an exuberant, delightfully unguarded moment that spoke to an authentic connection. It was not merely the dance itself that made the evening special, but Diana's charm and ease. Later described her as possessing an almost magical gift for putting people at ease. Even within the often rigid protocol of the royal court, her natural warmth and social grace shone through. From that night on, and Diana forged a close friendship that spanned more than a decade, filled with laughter, shared causes, glamorous outings, and deep emotional support. Yet theirs was not a relationship untouched by tension. His ties to the royal family predated his acquaintance with Diana. Since the 1970s, he had counted among his friends Princess and the Queen Mother, both devoted fans of his music. He had performed at royal events, participated in Prince Charles's trust concerts, and moved easily within monarchical circles long before Diana entered his life. In his autobiography, recounted dancing with Princess Anne and Queen Elizabeth II at Windsor to rock around the clock, joking about the surreal effort to keep a straight face while stepping in time with the monarch. Over the years, and Diana attended many high-profile gatherings together. One notable evening included other celebrities such as Richard and recalls that and Diana struck up a spirited conversation, laughing and even flirting by the fireplace, while, ill at ease, slipped away, seemingly overshadowed by Diana's magnetic presence. Observed that men often lost their composure around her, not only because of her beauty, but also because of her intelligence, energy, and ineffable allure, qualities that made her unforgettable. Despite the depth of their affection, a serious rift emerged in 1997, just months before Diana's tragic death. The source of their disagreement was the coffee table book Rock and Royalty, which had co-created with a fashion designer to benefit his John AIDS Foundation. Diana had initially agreed to pen the foreword then, reportedly to avoid offending the Queen. And hurt, she had already reviewed and approved the book's contents. He wrote her a heartfelt letter, expressing his disappointment and explaining the financial impact her withdrawal would have on the charity. Diana's reply, a formal, chilly note beginning, "Dear Mr." John left stunned. He had considered her a close friend, and her apparent distance felt deeply personal. He worried that she was retreating from honest feedback and surrounding herself with flatterers. Both too proud to reconcile immediately, they remained estranged until July of 1997, when the shocking murder of fashion designer changed everything. Upon hearing the news, Diana reached out to, somehow obtaining his number while he was aboard his yacht in Saint-Tropez, and called to offer comfort. In their conversation, she apologized for their quarrel, calling it a silly misunderstanding, and asked to renew their friendship. They met again at his funeral, where a now iconic photograph captures Diana leaning toward in a gesture of solace. Their forgiveness was swift and heartfelt. Diana even offered to become a patron of AIDS Foundation, and they arranged to meet in London to discuss future philanthropic projects. But fate intervened. On August 31, 1997, barely 6 weeks later, Diana died in a car crash in Paris. Learned of her passing by fax while asleep on his yacht in the south of France. A friend's handwritten note had arrived early, terrible news about Diana. When switched on the television, he realized that the world had lost one of its most beloved figures, and that he had lost a dear friend. His grief quickly found expression in music. Together with lyricist Bernie, he reworked Candle in the Wind, originally written for Monroe, into a tribute to Diana. His performance at her funeral in Westminster Abbey became one of the most poignant moments in British cultural history. Initially, the royal household hesitated to approve's tribute, fearing it might be overly sentimental. Documents later revealed that a saxophonist was kept on standby in case performance was vetoed. It was the Dean of Westminster, Reverend Dr. who championed the tribute, insisting that Diana's memory demanded boldness and a touch of modernity, qualities she embodied. Ultimately, the palace relented, and its rendition moved millions to tears. The new version of Candle in the Wind sold over 33 million copies, becoming the best-selling single ever. Those 4 minutes on stage were the most challenging of his career. He was not there to chase fame or applause, he was there to honor Diana. The image of Princes William and Harry, just 15 and 12 at the time, following their mother's coffin haunted for years. He later criticized the way the young princes were compelled to mask their grief before the world. John has continued to pay tribute to Diana's legacy. In 2007, he performed at the concert held in her memory, organized by William and Harry. He remains close to her sons, particularly Harry, whose advocacy for mental health and HIV awareness echoes his mother's compassion. When the tabloids attacked Harry and over their travel plans in 2019, publicly defended them, condemning media intrusion and reminding the public how sensationalist pressure contributed to Diana's death. Through the John AIDS Foundation, he perpetuates Diana's pioneering work, destigmatizing HIV and AIDS at a time when fear and prejudice ran rampant. Her gesture of holding the hand of an HIV-positive patient was not political. It was profoundly human, and it changed public attitudes forever. To grasp what Diana meant to, one must consider his own life. Born Reginald Dwight in 1947, he was raised in a strict household and sought refuge in music. Despite his fame, confronted personal demons, addiction, insecurity, and loneliness. He credits much of his emotional healing to meaningful friendships, Diana's among them. She inspired him not only through her public acts of kindness, but through private conversations, shared dinners, and unwavering support. They laughed, they argued, and ultimately, they found solace in each other, like family. More than 2 decades after her death, John still honors Diana's memory, not only through grand gestures, but in the way he lives his life, advocates for the vulnerable, and cherishes those he loves. Their friendship, as unlikely as it seemed at the outset, was anchored in mutual understanding and emotional honesty. Diana was never merely the people's princess. She was a friend, a confidant, and a reminder that even in the loftiest spheres of royalty, humanity, vulnerability, and empathy can flourish. Their story endures as a testament to the power of unlikely friendships, those rare connections that transcend status, survive misunderstandings, and live on through legacy and love.